Well, here we are, finally. The last day of vlogging. At least for a little while. Tuesdays are kind of a crazy day. Same with Mondays. Mondays, you get back into the groove of work. But then I also have to draw my page that gets released on Tuesdays to my backers on Patreon, and then also I do a page Wednesday night that gets released to my backers on Patreon as well. And then also on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I release the pages from 3 weeks prior. So Patreon members are always 3 weeks ahead in the story than everybody else, which is 6 pages usually ahead, which that can be quite a bit depending on where they're at in the story. So part of the process, after I do a page, I move it over to my laptop from my iPad via iCloud. And then I use the old save for web function in Photoshop. I actually slice up each panel into individual, or slice up the page into individual panels so I can do a carousel reel, just a carousel post on Instagram, because everybody on Instagram prefers going panel by panel and swiping. Every other social media platform, they want to see the full page. So I get those ready to go, and then I post them usually between 9:30 and 11:30 in Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. And then typically, depending on how the night goes Monday, so for instance, last night did not go well. I ended up not doing the page. I have to do that tonight still and get it posted for my, post it tonight for my Patreon backers. It's just a lot of work, and I ran out of time last night, but that was also because I ran out of time because I was doing, laying out issue 3 in InDesign, and then exporting that and getting that ready to go through the Amazon Kindle book builder app. And then I also got issue 2 ready to go in the Kindle store. So then last night I uploaded issue 2 to Amazon. That's live. Thankfully, I had to go through some kind of rigmarole to get the first issue published on Amazon. And then I also I put issue 3 up in my store on Patreon. And then if you're a member, I give a discount code. Unless you're at a certain tier, if you're like the middle tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything in my shop for free as soon as it's released. And you don't have to be a member forever. Some people just join for that month and then they grab what they want for free and then they downgrade, and that's fine. I don't really care. There are some more benefits, like I'm posting regular comics. Like if you're on the middle tier, you're getting 4 comics a week. There's 2 bonus comics that are getting released each week. And if you're on the Process Junkies tier, you're getting an update every day, 7 days a week. So there's some benefits to it, but there's multiple ways to enjoy the comic. And I try to, it's a lot of work to get it out to as many eyeballs as possible. So, all right, so here's my Reddit numbers. I just posted the full issue, just spreads out of InDesign. I've tried posting individual pages or a couple pages at a time. It just doesn't seem to do very well. But I've already got 812 views, and I've just posted a couple hours. This should start to creep up pretty high. I get a lot of traffic from Reddit now, which is weird. Mike Sweater turned me onto this. This is where he's got most of his fans, is from Reddit. Okay, here's Unite. So what I like about this is you can create little like web apps And so I've got 3 right here: Reddit, YouTube, Threads, and Blue Sky. And they essentially just run as little pretend Safari apps. They kind of keep everything separate. And it's nice too, because then I just never have to log out. I just can launch it and unlaunch it as I need. So those are 3 or 4 apps that they have running. That makes things a little bit easier. You can do all sorts of stuff with there. Let's see. I mean, pretty much anything that's a website. So, yeah, X, Facebook, Pinterest, Mastodon, TikTok, I guess, if you want to do that. I don't know why you would do an Apple Music app, but you already have the app. This is a pretty handy thing. You can pretty much turn any website into an app, and then kind of sandbox it, which I like, because I don't necessarily want all of these apps looking at what I'm looking at. Also very handy, I keep a separate phone just for social media, which I've been running some tests on. I got this Google Pixel 4a for about $100 on eBay, and I installed Graphene OS over top, like jailbroke the phone, and then now I boot into Graphene OS, which was like a super private version of Android. And then I create different users on it, and then each user has different apps in it. So I have one user that's just for YouTube, and then because I have to install the actual Google Play Store in order for it to get to work. And then for like all the rest of my social media, I have in a profile just called social media. And the reason why I started doing this is I wanted to see if there would be a difference from posting on the computer versus posting on a phone. And then again, I noticed, and I'm sure you noticed, that most of those apps are sharing information with each other and using it to feed you advertising. So I decided to try. The problem is, if you post just from the web, I've noticed that my posts tend to get downranked in the algorithm. So I got an Android phone just for this, and it does seem to make a little bit of a difference. I definitely get better engagement than posting on the computer. Like especially Instagram likes knowing that it's on a phone and it has full access to all of your images and whatnot. I use Dropbox to go back and forth in between my computer and this Android phone, and that works really well. Yeah, it's crazy the amount of work that you have to do to be a cartoonist, and that's how I've developed like pretty much all my other skills. You know, you have to be able to manage your own website. You have to maintain a content calendar and a constant social media presence to grow. And even that's hard. I've been stuck on Instagram right around between 400 and 600 followers for like a couple years now. And I'll get a couple new followers here and there, but like it's so hard to get seen on that platform in particular. Which then, you know, people judge you on your followers count too. So that makes it like, wow, this person only has, 500 followers. How good is this comic actually? I'm like, I don't know, give it a shot. So it's tough. Yeah, you end up having to become a social media manager. You have to write all your own blurbs and copies to get everything out and released. You have to learn how to make videos now. And you have to keep all that going and do the comic on top of it. Which in my case, like, I'm writing it, I'm drawing it, I'm inking it, I'm coloring it, and I'm lettering it. And those are 5 separate jobs in the North American comic industry that people get paid for individually. I wouldn't have it any other way. I like being in control of everything, but it's tough. But I do enjoy days like today. It's very easy to forget a step in the process. I've done that before. Saturday into Sunday, for example, I forgot to post my bonus comic. So it happens. The nice thing about today's social media age of consumption is that it's a giant conveyor belt of food constantly, and no one really notices if you miss an update. So I never call attention to it. I just post it whenever I remember it, and I've had no complaints. No one's ever cared that they got something a little late or not on time. Most of the time, I would say 98% of the time, I'm consistently posting things as they should be. But it's a lot of work. And then now you can kind of see doing a 30-day, 30 vlog challenge has been a challenge because I have to do all of that other stuff. Also work 8 to 12 hours a day at my day job, depending on the situation that's happening that day. Like last night, I had to do a bunch of DNS record changes and it did not go well. I got it working in the end, but it was if any of you have ever done that, my backside puckered a little bit when everything started to go down on accident. And so quickly changing those records back, and you figure, okay, what did I mess up through the step? And I mean, it was everything too. It was like all the MX records, all the A records, all the CNAME records, all the text records. There was a few other records that I had to get in and make sure they were taken care of for this one site. This is something that we don't typically do. We're not network people, but I've had to do that over the years. Same with I'm not an IT repair shop, but I help repair a lot of computers because I just know how, because I've liked tinkering with stuff. So it's just, doing this 30 for 30 challenge has been great. It's exhausting. And I feel like it was starting to affect my regular schedule of trying to get my comic out. And that's what's most important to me. So I'm going to take a step back from vlogging for not forever, not for very long. I think a week or two. And maybe just kind of go through my videos again, see what worked, see what didn't, and then start posting again. I mean, that's one thing that I am consistently good at, and I've proven time and time again, is that I'm good at staying on if I'm posting something online and I have a schedule, I'll hit it no matter what. So I just need to figure out a good way to work this in, because it felt like to me the videos were becoming more important than anything else in my life, as far as like putting stuff out, content out on the internet. And I already put a lot of content out on the internet for free, and it's a tough game. And that's partially why I was kind of bummed. Not so much my numbers on YouTube, because that's brand new. Of course it's not going to be great. But, as an established cartoonist who has been published, it's hard to get noticed, honestly. And I'll get shared by big names. Doesn't move the needle at all. It's tough. So I know there's an audience out there, because when people start reading my comic, they love it. And I think part of it is that I'm releasing 2 pages a week, 2 days apart, and that's not enough to get the sense of the story. So I think that's partially why it does really well on Reddit, because I just dump the full issue on there and you can just read the whole thing all at once. I can't do that easily on the other platforms. If I could, I probably would do that over what I'm doing now, but that's what I got, so that's what I'm working with. I need to start, my next steps are to do a Kickstarter campaign, and that will help me. I'll send those out for reviews, because reviewers like having a physical copy of something more than a digital copy, I've noticed. That's something that's plagued me my entire career. Getting a reviewer or a critic to read something digitally was especially a hard ask in the 2000s, but it's a lot easier now. But still, I think most people would prefer an actual physical copy. So one thing I've been doing with all my pages is making a black and white version of it, because I've always wanted to do a black and white print comic. Not only is it cheaper, but just always like black and white comics. That's just me, but that's a topic for another time. Anyway, yeah, I've kind of blabbed long enough now. Thank you for joining me on this 30 for 30 challenge. Glad it's over. And yeah, talk to you like a week or two. I don't know, somewhere in there. Okay? Bye. One last thing, really quick. I just got the nicest comment on Reddit that honestly, like most of the time when we're posting as cartoonists, it's just out into the void, and you only hear from people that hate your work. And I just got a very, very nice comment on Reddit that one of the reasons why I like posting here. So it says, "Love your comics. Thank you for sharing issue 3." And I responded back and I said, you have quickly become my favorite contemporary comics creator. Absolutely appreciate what you're doing. And man, that I think I needed that. Not just for today, but for the month. It's just been hard. So, Carbon Base, thank you for sharing. And that's another reason why I like Reddit. Our Comics is a great board, and there's a lot of there are people that actually want to read comics, and so it's you get good feedback like that, and it's nice, and it means something because it's like actual fans of comics reading it versus somebody that might stumble across you on Instagram. They may like it, they may be into comics, they may not be. It's hard to say how you get served up, but that was great. Really appreciate that comment. All right, now for real, I'm out of here. Bye.